The ballroom smelled of roses and deceit. Crystal chandeliers glittered above silk gowns, and laughter rippled like sweet poison through the air. I smiled because that was what a lady did. My fiancé, Lord Adrian Vale, had his arm around my waist, the picture of devotion. "Smile a little more, Elara," he whispered, teeth grazing my ear. "The counselors are watching." I tilted my chin and murmured, "I'm already smiling, my lord. You simply don't see it anymore." His hand stiffened for a heartbeat, then the charm returned to his face. "You worry too much." I should have listened to that small tremor in my chest. But back then, I believed every word he spoke. Later, when the guests turned toward the string quartet, Leah, my dearest friend, slipped beside me, breathless. "Elara, come. You must see this." I followed her into the dim corridor outside the hall. "What is it? You look as if you've seen a ghost." She hesitated, glancing down the empty passage. "Promise me you won't faint." "Leah." My patience was already thin. She handed me a folded parchment. "A letter came for you at the gallery. It was addressed in haste." I peeked because it bore Lord Vale's seal. I tore it open. Inside was a sketch, a child's drawing. A woman and a little boy holding hands before a manor gate. Beneath them, the boy had scribbled the name Noah Vale. My fingers went numb. "Noah Vale." Leah whispered. "The courier said the letter came from the southern estate. Lady Clara Vale signed the message." My voice cracked. "Lady Clara Vale." She nodded miserably. "His wife, Elara." The world tilted. I heard the music still playing inside, the clink of crystal, Adrian's laugh cutting through it. Smooth, familiar, false. I couldn't breathe. Leah reached for me. "Elara, you shouldn't." But I was already walking. My heels struck marble like thunder. People turned, confused smiles freezing as I stormed across the ballroom. Adrian's face lit with surprise when he saw me. "Darling?" "What?" I flung the parchment against his chest. "Who is she?" The crowd quieted at once. He caught the paper, eyes darting. "Elara, not here." "Then where? Tell me before these noble liars who adore you. Who is Lady Clara Vale? And who is Noah?" Color drained from his face. "You're misunderstanding. Am I?" I stepped closer, my voice shaking. "You said you never loved anyone before me. You said I was your only." He swallowed hard. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" I laughed, a brittle sound. "Marriage is not complicated. Lying is." Someone gasped. "I didn't care. You were wed while you swore yourself to me." Adrian's mask cracked for the first time. "Clara and I are bound by contract. It's political, not emotional. You know how houses merge fortunes. You used me as your scandal's cover." "Elara, listen to me." He reached for my hand, desperate. "I love you." "She means nothing." "Nothing?" "She bore your son." I felt the word son stab my tongue. "Does nothing cry for you at night?" Murmurs rippled through the hall. Somewhere, a goblet shattered. Adrian hissed, "Stop this madness. You'll ruin us both." "Us." I repeated softly. There was never an us. For a moment, he looked almost afraid of me. "Please, let's go somewhere private." "No," I stepped back. "I want them all to see what a perfect lie looks like when it breaks." He clenched his jaw. "You think you can walk away from me? Without my name you're nothing, Elara." The words burned deeper than any blade. I whispered, "Then I would rather be nothing than yours." I turned before he could see my tears. Leah tried to catch my arm, but I shook her off and kept walking. The night air outside sliced through the heat of my humiliation. Rain had begun, silver against the cobblestones. The Vale crest glimmered on the gates, the symbol I'd once dreamed would be mine. My hands trembled as I whispered, "How could I be so blind?" My sister Mara's voice echoed in my memory, from a letter she'd sent weeks ago. "I don't trust him, Elara. There's something cold in his eyes." I'd laughed then. I wasn't laughing now. Behind me, the doors opened. "Elara." Adrian's voice chased me through the storm. "Come back inside before you destroy everything." I turned once. He stood under the archway, drenched but still beautiful, still dangerous. "Everything is already destroyed," I said. He stepped forward. "I can fix this. We can start again. You can fix your lies, not my heart." Lightning split the sky. For a heartbeat, I saw his face lit white, not the man I loved, but a stranger wearing his smile. "I will not beg," he said, voice trembling. "I never asked you to." I walked toward the waiting carriage, but my vision blurred. The rain turned the world into streaks of light. My driver shouted my name, but the street spun. The last thing I heard was the crack of thunder and the sound of horses screaming. Then, nothing. When I opened my eyes, I expected darkness. Instead, I saw sunlight bleeding through velvet curtains, my old chamber in House Quinn. The one I'd left 3 years ago. For a moment, I lay still, afraid to breathe. The last thing I remembered was thunder, the wheels screaming, my name fading into the storm. Yet here I was, whole, breathing, alive. "My lady, you're awake." A familiar voice trembled. "Clara?" "No, the maid from my youth," Anna, rushed to my side, her eyes wide with worry. "You slept late again. The clock strikes 8. 8. I turned toward the desk. The silver calendar read year 792, month of Thalen. 3 years before the betrayal. My voice was hoarse. "Anna, what day is it?" "The day of Lord Vale's first visit, my lady." The name sliced through me like a blade. "Adrian." "Yes, my lady. He wrote that he would arrive by noon." My pulse stumbled. So this is where it began. I forced a smile. "Thank you, Anna. I'll prepare myself." When she left, I pressed my palms against the bed and whispered, "This is impossible." But the mirror reflected my younger face. Softer, unscarred, eyes still full of trust. Tears welled. He hasn't betrayed me yet. But he will. I laughed, low and bitter. Not this time. Downstairs, my sister Mara was arguing with the steward again. The sound of her voice filled the hall. "Ilara, you're finally up," she said when she saw me. "Don't tell me you plan to wear that dull gown when Lord Vale visits." I met her grin with calm eyes. "He won't be visiting me today." Her brow furrowed. "You're joking." "No. I've decided to end our correspondence." She blinked. "Before it even begins?" "Yes." She studied me, uncertain. "You're serious?" "What happened?" I hesitated, then smiled faintly. "Let's just say I've seen what kind of man he becomes. And I'm not interested." "Ilara," her tone softened. "You sound strange." "I feel strange." I touched her hand gently. But for once, it's a good kind of strange. I spent the rest of the morning alone in the study. The smell of parchment steadied me. I opened a fresh journal and began to write, "I died loving a liar." I woke up remembering every word he ever used to bind me. This time, I'll use those memories as armor, not chains. The quill trembled in my hand. "Maybe I wasn't meant to fix him," I whispered. "Maybe I was meant to fix me." The door creaked open. "Talking to yourself already?" I turned. Evan Reed leaned against the doorway. My old childhood friend. In my past life, I'd pushed him away when Adrian entered the picture. Seeing him again made my throat tighten. "You're early," I said. He grinned. "Your mother invited me for tea, remember? You look like you've seen a ghost." "Something like that." He studied me quietly. "You seem older." "I feel older." "Dreams again." I met his gaze. "Not dreams. Memories." He chuckled, not believing me. "Then remember to rest. The world doesn't end over tea." "It did once," I murmured. "What?" "Nothing." I smiled. "Thank you for coming, Evan. Truly." He frowned slightly. "That's a strange thing to thank me for." "Then I'll keep being strange." He laughed softly. "I like strange." When Evan left, I called for my carriage. Anna looked startled. "But my lady, Lord Vale, will find his way here alone if he truly wants to," I said. "I have another visit to make." "To whom?" "To Dr. Julian Hart." Her mouth fell open. "The royal physician?" "My lady, you're perfectly healthy." "Not in the ways that matter." The ride to the capital was quiet. The city shimmered under the noon sun, full of life I'd forgotten existed before everything fell apart. Dr. Hart's clinic smelled of ink and herbs. He rose from behind his desk, adjusting his spectacles. "Lady Quinn. I wasn't expecting. I need counsel," I said softly. He motioned for me to sit. "Physical or emotional?" "Does it matter?" His eyes met mine. It always matters. I exhaled slowly. Let's say I've lived this life before, Doctor. I made mistakes that ruined everything. If I told you I could change them, would you think me mad? He smiled faintly. Only if you didn't want to change them. Something in me eased. Then I suppose I'm sane. Tell me, Lady Quinn. What do you wish to do differently? I wish to choose myself. He nodded once. That's harder than choosing anyone else. I stood. I'm prepared for that. Are you? I paused at the door. Ask me again when I no longer tremble at the sound of his name. Back home, Anna rushed toward me. My lady, Lord Vale arrived while you were gone. He's waiting in the drawing room. My heart skipped, just once, muscle memory of pain. But I straightened my shoulders. Then let him wait. Anna blinked. Should I send him away? Yes. I smiled calmly. Tell him Lady Quinn is occupied with her own future. From the hall, I heard Adrian's voice, smooth as ever, impatient beneath its polish. She refuses to see me. Anna stammered. She said you should call again another year, my lord. Silence followed. Then his angry footsteps echoed toward the door, and the sound faded. I exhaled shakily. For the first time, the air around me didn't feel like a cage. I sat at my desk again and picked up my journal. The ink hadn't dried from my morning entry. Below it, I wrote, asterisk today, I rewrote the first page of my life. And for once, it began with me. Asterisk. Are you avoiding me? Adrian's voice echoed across the marble corridor before I even turned. I didn't flinch. I'd rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in silence. I looked over my shoulder, calm. I've been occupied. With what? He asked, closing the distance. His cologne used to make my pulse race. Now it only made my stomach tighten. Reading, I said. Reading. He laughed softly. You've changed. You used to wait for me in the garden. I used to do a lot of things I don't do anymore. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Elara, if I've done something, you've done many things. He hesitated. Then tell me what they are. I'd rather you remember them yourself. He exhaled, feigning amusement. You're playing games. No, I said. I've simply stopped playing yours. For a second, the charming mask slipped, just long enough to see the irritation flare behind his eyes. Then it was gone, replaced by a gentle laugh. You're fiery today, he said. I like that. I turned to leave. You liked it before you broke it. Later that afternoon, I found Oliver, my family's new steward, in the garden loggia. He was young, meticulous, and far too observant. Oliver, I said quietly, you handle Lord Vale's financial reports, don't you? He straightened. Only those related to your father's investments, my lady. Why? Tell me, I said, have you ever found his numbers inconsistent? He hesitated. That depends on how honest you want me to be. Completely. He lowered his voice. Then yes. The Vale accounts are full of gaps. Missing ledgers, false entries, inflated returns. I didn't mention it earlier because you assumed I trusted him. His gaze flickered. Should I assume otherwise? I smiled faintly. You should assume I'm collecting evidence. He blinked. Against him. Against the man who taught me how to lie by loving him. Oliver nodded slowly. Then I'll bring you copies. Quietly. Good. And Oliver, yes, my lady. If anything happens to those ledgers before you do, you'll tell me first. I will. That night, a letter arrived under my door. No seal. No sender. Only a name scrawled in hurried ink. Clara. I froze. Clara had been one of Adrian's secretaries, dismissed after misconduct. He'd told me she'd fled the city. Inside, a single line, he's married. She's alive. My breath caught. Beneath it, an address. The next evening, I went there alone, a narrow house near the harbor. A woman with hollow eyes opened the door. You're Clara? I asked. She nodded warily. You shouldn't have come. I received your letter. She swallowed hard. He'll destroy you if he knows. He already tried once. She motioned me inside. He told you his wife died, didn't he? Yes. She didn't. I stared. You. She shook her head. No. Her name's Elise. She's been hidden away in the north. He forged the death certificate. Investors pitied him. That pity bought him time and money. I felt cold spread through me like poison. Why tell me now? Because you still matter to him, she said. And that makes you dangerous. I'm already dangerous. She looked at me sadly. Then be careful. He watches everything. When I returned home, Adrian was waiting in the drawing room, smiling as though nothing had happened. There you are, he said. I was beginning to think you were avoiding me again. I set my gloves down. Maybe I was. He poured wine into 2 glasses. Then let me make it worth your while. Dinner tomorrow. Just us. No more distance. Elara. I miss you. I studied him carefully, the charming tilt of his voice, the polished patience. Beneath it, something desperate pulsed. Dinner, I repeated. All right. He brightened instantly. So you do still care? I smiled faintly. Oh, I care very much. The next evening, the dining table glittered with crystal and candlelight. I wore pale blue silk, the same color I'd worn the night he'd first proposed, though he didn't seem to notice. He lifted his glass. To us. I met his gaze. To truth. He blinked. Truth. I think we've both owed each other that for too long. His smile faltered. If this is about my delay in filing the engagement contract, it's not about that, I interrupted softly. It's about your wife. The air fractured. He didn't move for 3 heartbeats. Then he laughed. Too quickly. You've been listening to gossip. I've been listening, I said evenly, to the people you silence. Elara, her name is Elise, isn't it? His hand tightened around the glass until it cracked. I don't know what you think you know, he said quietly. Enough to know the mask doesn't fit anymore. He rose, pacing. Who told you this? I tilted my head. Does it matter? The truth remains the same no matter who speaks it. He turned sharply. You don't understand what's at stake. Oh, I do, I said, voice steady. Your investments, your reputation, your charm, all built on the pity of a widowhood you invented. You think anyone will believe you? He hissed. I smiled slowly. They won't need to. They'll see your ledgers. His expression twisted. Oliver, he muttered. Leave him out of this, I said. He only showed me what was already yours. He slammed his hand on the table. You're playing a dangerous game. I learned from the best. His voice dropped to a whisper. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said softly, but at least I'll regret it honestly. For a moment, silence burned between us, candlelight flickering over the ruins of his composure. He straightened, forcing a smirk. You always love to moralize. But you'll come back. You always do. I rose slowly, letting the chair legs scrape the marble. Not this time. Elara, I stopped at the doorway and turned back. You know what the difference is between us? He glared. Enlighten me. I can lie when I must, I said. You can only live inside one. Then I walked away before he could answer. Back in my room, I opened my journal, the ink still fresh from yesterday's notes. He cracked tonight. The mask slipped. And I saw the hollow thing beneath it, terrified of losing control. My hand trembled, but not from fear. From restraint. He thinks I'm still his weakness. He doesn't see that he's become mine to study. I closed the book, the quill whispering against parchment. Tomorrow, I would expose him, but tonight, I wanted silence. Silence was victory enough. Have you seen the papers? Leah burst into my room without knocking, her voice shaking. I didn't look up from my cup of tea. I've seen enough, I said softly. They're calling him a fraud. Elara. The Vale fortune, gone. Investors are demanding an inquiry. People are saying you. I what? That you exposed him. I met her eyes. Did I? She blinked, uneasy. You didn't deny it. I didn't need to. She hesitated, wringing her hands. You shouldn't have done this. He's furious. He said you'd regret it. I smiled faintly. He said that once before. I'm still waiting. Leah swallowed. He trusted you. So did I. For a moment, silence filled the space between us, heavy, final. I set the cup down. Tell me, Leah. How much did he pay you to keep me blind? Her face paled. What? Oliver found your name on the account transfers. 6 payments. All during the months he hid his marriage. That's not. Don't lie to me. Her lips trembled. I didn't mean to. He said it was just business, that you wouldn't understand. I understand perfectly. I stood. You sold my trust. Just like he did. Tears welled in her eyes. Ilara, I was scared. He threatened me. I'm not angry, I said quietly. I'm done. She looked at me like a child who'd broken something irreparable. What are you going to do now? Watch him fall. By noon, the city buzzed with whispers. The grand hall that once bore Adrian's name now hosted a tribunal. Reporters swarmed the steps, their pens hungry for blood. Oliver met me at the entrance. You don't have to go in, he murmured. I do, I said. I need to see it end. Inside, chandeliers gleamed too brightly, mocking the ruin beneath them. Adrian stood before the council, pale, defiant, a man still pretending the ground hadn't vanished beneath him. He caught sight of me. His expression flickered, shock, anger, something close to pleading. Ilara. He began as if my name could still save him. You did this. I didn't, I said evenly. The truth did. You think you're righteous. His voice rose. You think you're better than me. I don't need to be better, I said. I just needed to stop being yours. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. He laughed bitterly. You'll regret this. When they turn on you. They already did, I said. And I survived. He took a step closer, his composure fraying. You loved me. I did. Then why destroy me? Because you built yourself out of my bones. He froze. For a heartbeat, the hall was silent except for the scratching of pens. The doors at the back opened. A woman stepped in, holding a small boy's hand. Clara. The crowd gasped. Adrian's face drained of color. No, he whispered. You shouldn't be here. Clara's voice trembled, but she stood tall. You told me you'd make it right. You told me we'd be safe. He reached toward her. Clara, please. She flinched back. You left me hiding while you played the grieving widower. You paraded her, she looked at me, like proof you changed. The boy peeked around her skirt. Mama, is that him? Clara nodded faintly. Adrian's knees buckled. The perfect man finally cracked. The council called for order, but the whispers only grew. Words like asterisk fraud asterisk, asterisk bigamy asterisk, asterisk embezzlement asterisk rippled through the hall. The same people who'd toasted his brilliance now looked away. He turned toward me, wild-eyed. Say something. Tell them I'm not a monster. I met his gaze. Monsters never think they are. He staggered. You don't understand, everything I did for us. For us. My voice shook, quiet but sharp. You lied to everyone, Adrian. You lied to yourself. And you called it love. He reached for me again, desperate. I can fix it. I'll make it right, just give me time. There's no time left, I said. You used it all lying. When the verdict came, the hall was silent. His assets frozen. His title revoked. His name stripped from every banner he'd built. Adrian Vale, the perfect man, undone by his own reflection. He sank into his chair, trembling. You win, he muttered. I wasn't playing. He looked up at me, eyes red. Do you hate me that much? No, I whispered. I just don't love you anymore. His lips parted, but no sound came. Outside, the air was cold, clean. Reporters shouted my name, but their words felt distant, muffled, as if I stood underwater. Clara approached quietly, the little boy clutching her hand. He won't recover from this, she said softly. I know. I thought seeing him fall would make me feel free, she murmured. But it just feels empty. Freedom usually does, at first. She looked at me carefully. You don't hate him either, do you? I did once, I said. Then I realized hate keeps him alive in me. I'd rather feel nothing. Clara nodded slowly. Thank you for ending it. I didn't end him, I said. He did. The boy tugged at her sleeve. Mama, can we go home? Yes, love, she whispered, leading him away. I watched them disappear into the fog. Oliver found me on the steps. "It's over," he said. "Yes." "You don't look happy." "I'm not unhappy either." He studied me. "What now?" "I live," I said simply. Quietly. He smiled faintly. "You sound free." "I think I am." I looked back one last time. Through the courthouse window, I could still see Adrian, head bowed, shoulders shaking. Not the man I'd loved, but the shell he'd left behind. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Maybe justice wasn't about watching someone suffer. Maybe it was about walking away while they destroyed themselves. As the wind brushed my hair, I whispered to the fading sky, "Goodbye, Adrian." And for once, I meant it. The wind carried the scent of rain that morning. I stood on the hill where the city stretched beneath me, marble rooftops, narrow streets, and memories that once felt like home. I whispered, "So this is where it ends." "It's beautiful up here," a voice said behind me. I turned. Evan stood a few steps away, hands in his pockets, that calm smile he always had. "I thought you wouldn't come," I said. "I almost didn't," he admitted. "I wasn't sure if you wanted company." "I didn't," I said softly, "but I don't mind yours." He walked closer, stopping beside me. For a while, neither of us spoke. The city shimmered below, caught between light and shadow. "Do you still think about him?" he asked quietly. "Sometimes," I said. "Not because I miss him. Because I finally understand him." Evan glanced at me. "Understand?" "He wasn't strong," I said. "He was afraid. And I mistook fear for passion. Lies for love." He nodded. "You loved him with everything you had." "I did," I whispered. "And I lost myself in the process." Evan's voice softened. "You found yourself again." I smiled faintly. "Maybe. Or maybe I just stopped pretending I needed saving." We sat on the stone ledge, watching the clouds drift. He said, "Mara told me you turned down the position in the capital." "I did." "Why?" "I don't want to start over in another cage. I'd rather build my own door here." He chuckled. Still poetic. "I've had time to think," I said. "I spent years fighting to be seen. Now, I like being quiet." Evan leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You always thought silence meant weakness. But I think it suits you." "Silence isn't emptiness," I said. "It's peace." He looked at me for a long moment. "You've changed." I had to. "No," he said. "You chose too." That made me smile. "You always know how to say the right thing." "Not always," he said. "That's why I'm here." I turned to him, curious. "What do you mean?" He hesitated. "I came to tell you something before someone else does." I laughed softly. "That sounds ominous." "It's not," he said quickly. "It's honest." He paused, exhaled, then looked at me. "I care about you, Elara. Not because of what you've been through, but because of who you are now." The words hung between us, gentle and dangerous. I looked away. "You don't have to say that." "I know," he said. "But I wanted to." "Why now?" "Because I didn't want you to think every man who looks at you sees a broken woman." I felt something loosen in my chest. I stopped thinking that a while ago. He smiled. "Then I'm glad." The sky began to shift, gold bleeding into pink. I asked quietly, "Do you think people can really change?" Evan thought for a moment. "Yes. But not because they want to be forgiven. Because they finally see who they've become." I nodded slowly. "Then maybe I did change." He looked at me. "You did. You stopped chasing closure from others and gave it to yourself." I laughed under my breath. "Dr. Hart would say you're stealing his lines." Evan grinned. "He told me to remind you of them. He said, and I quote, 'Tell her healing isn't a finish line, it's a decision she'll make every morning.'" That sounds like him. I smiled. "Tell him I finally believe it." I think he already knows. For a long time, we just sat there. The silence didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt earned. Finally, I said, "You know, when it all happened, I kept asking why. Why he lied. Why I trusted. Why I wasn't enough. And now." Evan asked. Now I don't ask why anymore. I turned to him, smiling softly. I just say thank you. He frowned slightly. Thank you. For breaking me, I said. For forcing me to rebuild. For showing me I was never meant to fix him. I was meant to fix *me star. Evan's gaze lingered. That sounds like closure. It is. He looked toward the horizon. So what will you do next? I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe I'll travel. Maybe I'll write again. Maybe I'll just breathe. That sounds enough. It is. The sun began to sink behind the hills, casting everything in amber. The wind lifted my hair, brushing it across my face. Evan stood. I should go. Mara's waiting. I looked up at him. Thank you for coming. He smiled. I told you, you're hard to walk away from. Careful, I teased. That sounds like a confession. It was one, he said quietly. But I know you're not ready to answer. You're right. He nodded. Then I'll wait. Not for you to love me, for you to never feel like you have to. Something warm spread through me. You always did understand. He took a step back. Goodbye, Elara.